te whatala whatu Samoa nei tu la fiafi. Ala mai o seisi ne whapoponga mo lau Samoa Taulogologo i le fiafi o le asalua. E tō mo i tala tai ana le ilasa whatau tai e sauninga patino i le kabineta. A wale whatau tō ina masaini o whatau tonga. Anisa minister lang lang fo to afa ua filifilia. Sa tirengane nei o le reporti. O tayo nei le na whatau no ina whatau tonga minister lang o malo. Ito tonal officer kabineta ilumata maita i panemia mar kabineta. Ito afa minister lang no whatau to ina. Masaini ala tau whatau tonga e ala isa sauninga wha malo i patino i kabineta. O le nei sauninga na taita i e susunga se wa muli fasi toma.
Lo ia sola i luma o fofonga o le atua. O le atua na te sila fia me o malama. Po whea lava e sola i ere tangata e lema whai o le lilo. Ta sile o whawhitau i nei asa. Tō tele o le oso sola. Ara tau tino a tā vita na na whaisanam. O te hanu e i whea ai loa ngana. O te sola e i whea ai o luma. A whai o te arua i le langi o i hei lama oe. A whai o te whawhora so ngoenga se o whauta o lo i hei lama oe. Ana le o ai ona le manapo ria e le mana tua io le siri ese o le mana o le tua. Ana fitai ia popoanga mana tua o le tua. O le ai o afa o me tutupu le oro tangata. E toi fa manatu mai le mana siri ese o le tua. E le fa tau ngai e se malosi fa tau wa o tangata. Le mana siri ese o le tu. Whai mei upo io. Na o alanga atu nai le mea mawalano i tunga mau. Ua e whaafofonga i lo leo. O le ane anga sala. Ma le sesea le tangata. O le taimea e wala au ai le atua. E whaafofonga ina i le atua. Aisea. O le atua o le alofa. Ma le alofa whamahana.
E sau noanga au tua tamaita e pare mia ia fia me nao mi mta afa. Na ia ave ia idfa amalusi au male uputi mai. Ilana ka penita e maiso minister lango. Ia ta awar ngaluenga watofia ai.
E mo mia lava il kabineta i le tu o tulena. E lango minister lango. E tau soa i ai. E ngā kuenga. Male apena. Ma o te manatu e taua. E penga paanga al minister au tulu mana minister mana ina ia manino ele patai muanga al minister po fiali tu on tanga ben e mo mi ai so sana ala minister mai ole me mo ni lava e mo mi e fa o po ina tanto vai na ben na tapu e tawala mai i le tofi o le minister.
Na whaasore ta mai ta ipane me tu langa na iai o ia o se minister lango i tausanga e tele watua nai. E whai ma whaateta inga lei minister lango fau. Ai le ngata i lea o minister a orka peneta e whaatu po il malama inga luenga whaan malo. Tausanga ta sila fe iwa se lau valus valu o tofinga minister lango na mua whaingoa. O se whai lau tosi whaat pale mene ai na wha manino le pale mia. E ui o le sui o le ingoa a tofinga ta awa tele. Ma e ta awa fo i o na ngalue whelangalong mai ma minister ta itasi. O nei sui e to wha sa whaatau to ina. Saman malo mai palo tala i ti sa whaatau ta e tausanga mawhai. Mai o lato i tu malo i lalo le vaenga whaupu whai. Al whaatau to i le atua Samoa watasi. O minister lango e au fia i minister lango mtanga luenga puna o whanatu e masiusi o manga. Le fionga ya fale mavainga titi mai atafua. Minister lango mtanga luenga whirawa inga matina e te tili. Le fionga ya laua matia manu rinko persao. Minister lango mtanga luenga whato anga mawhainga whaiva. Le tō whaia mai awa fui mao no tito a safo. Minister lango mtanga luenga whono awama mtanga luenga whamatalanga tere wavi. Ya fui ono teni na Crichton. Mai le nei toa whasa whatau tō ina ilia so. Sa whafonga ina iman minister lango mtanga luenga tupe. Le wato fia ila fionga mangi le se katifia ui. Le asa ave ma minister lango mtanga luenga whamatanga te wavi. Ina watu la imaid whainga malo fo wolo o iei nei. Solo nei mawalese mo Samoa Taulogologo. O le asa nafi le asa wha mawai le sa ave ma ofisa sili. o pulenga mamtanga alwenga o ngata alonga manganu ina o fa mutaina ka penetala na kono karate au le mai ale isi ona masina fa popo e pe ona pasia i fainga malo tuanai se vainga nei ile report Oloi matamalingi na mole mawin na ile faama vaenga almatanga luwenga wa onga talonga manganu malelato office sili ina ua faama utuwina ile kapeneta leleto e faa wawa yolo na sofinga itutono matanga luwenga ile aswana nafi Mole sina fia ole kono karate ale office sili o matanga luwenga wa onga safai uina ile aswalu le masina nei ai peitai na so e faa wa wina le kono karate ona onisi vaenga safa atautaya mole vaenga wa onga au tapuni ai le atunu ona obaba o faa mai le to fa wa wina to finga office sili so se matanga luwenga le malo e peitai le faa mutai na yo le kono karate le susunga ia afa masanga Caroline afa masanga fuatai ina ua Pasino ina se fa sala launga lea sa fete ena ai mal fa sala launga sa folasia palemia ile soe amata e ayoa onga uma ile asusulu mal fa o le masina nei o yanu warrior sa usanga lua fe suma leiba lea sa to tofia ile susunga ya afa masanga abe mapule sili o le matanga luenga sanga lue foi o ye itotono le miste ya wa sa mo ile sa usanga a faiba se lau iwa sulua anga ima ili lua afe malfa Safa awa watu i Australia University o England ile imo nisi sa mufanga ile tau sanga luafe malfa ile luafe suma leono na toe fo i maile te maita ima toe ngalua ile University awa Samoa ile tau sanga luafe maleiva sa ia abea o ia mapula sida matanga luenga wa o ngata alonga manga nuu sa ia o ile taiminei ma wasidia maleono tau sanga o ngalue ai tabtailo kitiona o Samoa taulogologo Ile mai ayol fonotanga swingo le tau por Cup 26 le sa fatau tai tau sanga o mavai masina November ito tono Britania le o fa ilo mai ai o fa mawinai o lo fa wa wino le pala au monga luenga fa atine fa titi ai afianga swingo le tau e me se tamo fa ile ina ia fa titi le vela o lo ye ne ya nga ile tasita simalima tikeri ma lo nga lue ya tomo turai ter Pacifica e afia Samoa mo le fausia ino nei vaenga mo se swinga ta noi na ile fonotanga lona ruas Fufitu Pole Cup 27 Mole sila fio a fianga swinga le tau o se tasi la vaenga o lo ave fa momo ila to lo ye to mai ile o ino fa mtalanga mo fa tinonga fa tautaya ile to iti ayo swinga o tau se lau fast full ono atun o Pacifica sama fai on awai fun tanga tau sanga ma vai e to sama le fast full wa fesu ile sitala sama fai on awai solo nei mabolese mo Samoa taulogologo Se vai ngala tamai nei, winga tau mo po nei, male aso tai au.
Tala fala Samoa se poponga le nei lo tala tau mo le nei asolua. Lapta inga mo timunga mafa fa pe lapta inga mo lolonga lo fa marsia pe mo Samoa. Va inga la tatelito se vai nga tele wao me se vai nga fatapla I ofta inga sa vilim timunga lo ofiti ai pe le tonu. Ata fa fa nual tau se vai nga fatapla I ofta inga sa vilim timunga o lo ta oto pe lunga le tunu mai afia timunga ma sa vile to fata ta wini so taimi. Tala tamolo fanual poana nei iti munga mai mama fa inisio vaenga fa pena I William Faitstili I fata ta usavili inisio taimi. Mola sololo la ta episode iti munga ma e mama fa inisio vaenga. Tala tayo la pele elementai to 5 minute 5 vaveau so tu malusu 5 minute te sfumatasi. Onto pele elele tai to sfulo no minute ile ondo le fiafi. Ola so ella tayo lu su fitu minute te ele ono fa mo to foto fitu minute ile fitu le fiafi. Lau tala taule na Samoa le nea fiafi Manuel Poto fa soifua.
Ma ola fa yasi na malolonga pupu mo fa salonga fa pisinisi ona tueta lima ilia mangangana fa Britania. Your TV2 News will be right back after this short commercial break.
whautuanga mai le matanga ruenga o le seifua maloloina.
Le ala ngona le popole le taimi le Komiti Faamisionare. Ia e alofa ia te oe matausi lelo seifua maloloina. Ia so ta e tangata o lo a inga mawhaaso ai o la ngona. A whai wa iaini saa le nofa vāwara lata. Ia wha ngā telefoni po le interneti e so ta iai. Tausi lelo I tino, ia lava lau malolo, tau mawhai mea ai soifua maloloina, wha ngai oi lau tino, ma ia wha tira tau mawha awa malosi. Ia whaia ni au wha tino ngai te fia ma maasania ia so uma, ke peo le pukalfale, ai sau tatalu, o le taha le pese ma e siva ai. Ia mātai tū le leifa matalanga sa o winga le Komiti Faamisionare, ma ia tau mawhai fo ia awara so ona matamata I tala whaasala lau, le a whai ua lofi tūhina oi le tele o whamatalanga. Awara whaongaina leo le tapaa, o le awa maalosi, ma nisi o la au whaasaina, e pūle ai o la ngona, e fōlinga i ona whasosoani se taimi pōpō, ai whaate tele ina ai ona e whaanoa ma le fia I mo se taimi umi. E ese le tali atu le whanau la Haiti, pea o ina popole, ia e la ngona ina le popole lau tama ma ia a pongi mai, o mata I tūle lei, ia wha waunga yo inga te tau na whai, e peo le whai o mea onga, e taimi e ta aluma malolo ai. Wha ta ua le soifua malolo ina mawhau.
Monisi whaamtalanga whaapso taimi tanga runga le soifua maloloina, I le telefoni numela ono barutasi o.
Awane e misia lunga lo wala ata le EFKS TV I po so lua vai aso taitasi le polkalame ba ili le ato ponopona le afo le balu le afiafa.
I've fought many wars in my time. Some are fought for land, some for power, some for glory. I suppose fighting for love makes more sense than all the rest. Do you love her?
Father, you are a great king because you love all of Troy. That is the way I love Helen.
I want her back. Will you go to war with me, brother?
They're coming for me. The wind is bringing them closer.
This'll be the greatest war the world has ever seen. We need the greatest warrior.
Achilles can't be controlled.
Be careful, King of Kings. First you need the victory.
I won't ask you to fight my war. You already have. The loser will burn before nightfall.
Immortality! Take it! It's yours! No son of Troy will ever submit to a foreign ruler.
Then every son of Troy shall die.
Now you know who you're fighting. Is there no one else? Is there no one else?
back to your TV2 News for this Tuesday evening. Leading our bulletin, a swearing-in ceremony had conducted this morning by the Cabinet, which has sworn in 4 new associate ministers who were elected for the role. Our TV2 News was also there to witness this ceremony for a report. The swearing-in of the associate ministers in the Cabinet office in the presence of the Prime Minister and Cabinet. 4 associate ministers were sworn in and signed a special cabinet ceremony. In her keynote address, the Prime Minister Afa gave her encouragement and words of encouragement to her cabinet as well as the associate ministers on the importance of the tasks at hand. The Prime Minister shared her experience as an associate minister over the years as a role model to new associate ministers, as well as ministers and cabinets, to raise awareness on the work of the government. In 1988, the appointment of an associate minister was first made as a parliamentary secretary, but the Prime Minister clarified that although the replacement was the name, but the appointment was very important and it was necessary to work in collaboration with each minister. The 4 sworn-in candidates won by elections held last year from their constituencies under the FAST political party. The associate minister include the associate minister of the Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment, Honorable Falomavaenga Titimaya Tafua, associate minister of the Ministry of Work, Transport and Infrastructure, the Honorable Laumatia Manurinko Persal, associate minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, Mayava Fuimauna Tito Asafo, and the associate minister of the Legislative Assembly and the Ministry of Information and Technology, Honorable Fuyonote Nina Crichton. Solone Mawalese for TV2 News. The former Chief Executive Officer of the Ministry of Education, Sports and Culture bid her goodbyes to the ministry yesterday after the Cabinet's directive terminated her services to the education sector. Here's more on this report.
Tears flowed as the Chief Executive Officer of the Ministry of Education, Sports and Culture, Afamasanga Dr. Caroline Afamasanga Fuatai, shared her goodbyes to the staff and the education sector yesterday. Her 3-year contract ended 8th of this month, but was extended to settle some management procedures in the education sector due to changes brought by the COVID-19 lockdown. A normal time frame for an extension of contract for CEO is 6 months. However, Afamasanga extensions of contracts has been discontinued. She recently had a fallout with Cabinet after she pulled out a public notice that contradicted the announcement by the Prime Minister to reopen all schools on February 14 after Samoa went back to COVID alert level 1 after a 2 weeks lockdown. Afamasanga was reappointed in January 2019 in her second term as CEO. Several other CEOs' employment contracts are up and interviews have already been done, but the final decision have yet to be announced. Since moving into office in the middle of last year, the FAST government has been facing the challenge of working with CEOs and senior staff appointed by the previous government, where the lines of personalism and political allegiance have somewhat been distorted. Dr. Afamasanga Fuatai served at the National University of Samoa from 1992 to 2004. She then took up a post and further studies with the University of New England in Australia between 2004 and 2009. She returned again, served as the University of Samoa from 2009 until she was appointed as CEO in 2016. Subsalukitiona for your TV2 News.
Pacific Island continued the call for climate change action on journey to the 27th United Nations Conference for Climate Change. Here's more on this report. Reflecting upon the outcomes of the 26th Conference of the Parties to the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change, or COP26, the Pacific Small Island Developing States are building momentum for a change at COP27. Stated in a statement from the Secretary of the Pacific Regional Environment Program, the Pacific Islands are unpacking the Glasgow Climate Pact this week, continuing their work for a 1.5-degree world. COP26 was hosted by the United Kingdom from 1st to 13th of November last year. Amplifying the Pacific voice at COP26 was a major challenge given there were just 146 Pacific Island delegates, % due to COVID-19 challenges. Climate change is the single greatest threat to the security of our Pacific Islands, who work collectively to advocate for a 1.5-degree world. The Glasgow Climate Pact, a package of climate decisions, was agreed to by over 194 parties, included the phasing out of coal, recognition of our ocean, with an annual dialogue to take place as well as completed the Paris Agreement's rulebook. Solonai Mobilese for TV2 News. And here's your weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow.
Good evening, Samoa. Here's another update of your weather forecast for this Tuesday evening. Heavy rain warning remains in effect for Samoa. Flood warning also remains in force for all rivers and rainfall areas. Satellite loop shows a broad convective cloud band from an active convergence zone still affecting the islands. From our weather map, an active convergence zone remains within the vicinity of Samoa. Associated rain and gusty winds affect the group at times. Forecast for tonight, occasional rain with heavy force and few thunderstorms. Expect gusty winds at times. And for Wednesday, scattered rain with heavy force possible. All marine waters for tonight, northerly winds of 20 to 30 km per hour, poor visibility and gusty winds in showers, waves of 1.5 to 2 meters. And the tide table, low tide will be at 5 more minutes to 5 early morning, high tide at 24 minutes past 11, and low tide again at 16 minutes to 6 in the evening. Sun will rise tomorrow 27 minutes past 6 in the morning and will set at 7 more minutes to 7 in the evening. And that's your weather bulletin this evening, Samoa. Good night.
And that is the end of your TV2 News. Special acknowledgement to Samoa Water Authority for sponsoring your TV2 News. Until then, have a blessed evening. Or fai unga nalo Samoa talong longo manea fiafi, mo moli faftai faptual pulenga suavai, moli langlong sua, ay moli taimnei, manuia tele fasau sa ngotoi, so fa soifo.